Hey guys, Lena here again, and today we are diving into one of my favorite topics of all time, something that is going to blow your minds. If you can get past this, I can guarantee you are going to show up and generate the results of such a stronger and more confident and more focused entrepreneur, and that is managing your mind around rejection. Now, most people and most entrepreneurs have a really deeply rooted fear of rejection that they aren't even totally conscious of. So especially if you're a woman and you're watching this, I think that in many ways, women, but people in general, have been conditioned to believe that if you aren't accepted, if you aren't loved by everybody, if you aren't considered valuable by the tribe, then that is the worst possible thing that can happen to you. And when we feel rejected, whether that means a prospect saying no to us or 10 prospects saying no to us, or whether we got rejected from that media outlet we wanted to get featured on, or whether our application got rejected for a speaking opportunity that we wanted to have, whatever it is, we have literally been bred to internalize this rejection as the worst possible thing that can happen to us. But the secret sauce that I find literally the most successful entrepreneurs on the planet, and not only entrepreneurs, but athletes, musicians, artists, anybody who really becomes something, they have actually learned to turn that fear of rejection into their friend and use that as leverage in order to get bigger and better. But before we get into this, let's first talk about why we hold rejection so close to our hearts. Well, if you look at humankind and the history of humans, we are naturally pack animals, right? So what that means is that what's most important to us in the world is being a part of the pack, being a part of the tribe, being accepted. Because historically, what that meant is that we were safe, right? That actually protected us. And so the second we fear a threat of not being a part of that tribe, of not being accepted into that pack, our brains go into catastrophizing, right? Which we spoke more about on the previous video. And we start spiraling into the worst possible things that means about us, what that means, what we are as people, what our values are, how useful or smart or needed we are in society. Basically, if we feel rejected, that means that we are useless people, right? But as entrepreneurs, that obviously isn't productive, and you can take that same experience of receiving no's in your life and actually take that in as data to see, okay, I hear this, it doesn't define me, but now I can use this as fuel to grow and grow and grow and grow. And so if you guys have ever gotten rejected, I don't want you guys to think, well, now I can suddenly stop these rejections and make everybody love me, because at the end of the day, you guys, nobody is ever going to love you. And if everybody does love you or thinks that you're okay or you're accepted or whatever, you probably aren't doing anything big enough or bold enough. And in fact, again, if you look at some of the most prolific entrepreneurs in the world, guess what? They're rejected by a lot of people. You will find full blogs and websites completely dedicated to just talking crap about certain entrepreneurs. But guess what? Those are the people who are actually rising above the noise and inspiring that kind of a reaction in people, right? To the point where, sure, they're gonna have their haters, but they're also gonna have way more people who love them and admire them, right? So if you guys aren't pissing anybody off, then you're doing something wrong, okay? Getting rejected is actually a good sign, because it means you're making people uncomfortable. You're making people think, and you're making people basically take action, versus if you just went out there and shared your business's message and shared what you have to say and everybody said, all right, well, I guess that makes sense. Guess what? No one's going to remember you, okay? So that's why it's so important to, first of all, think of rejection as your friend. If you are getting haters, that means that you're doing something right. You should use that as fuel to keep going instead of having it prevent you from doing anything and just hiding, which is how entrepreneurs fail. It's just all about changing your perception. And now another way that I want you guys to think about it is rejection is something that's going to happen over a lifetime, right? We're all going to get rejected at some point or other, whether it's in romantic relationships, whether it is in our work, whatever it is. But what I want you guys to really think about here is if you could tell yourself that for every yes that I'm gonna get for my new $10,000 high ticket offer, I had to get 5 no's first, or 20 no's first, or 100 no's first, guess what? You wouldn't be discouraged by all of that rejection. You would be excited to keep racking up the no's so you can get that much closer to your yes, right? And it's the same thing with dating. If you've dated all these people when because of it hasn't worked out and you told yourself, I'm just not good enough, there's something wrong with me, is that productive? Not, again, thinking about is it the right thought or the wrong thought, but is that a productive thought? Or what if I told myself that in order to find the right person, I had to go on 50 first dates, right? Then you, again, would be looking forward to racking up those no's because it would get you so much closer to your yes. So you guys, it's not about trying to control the rejection, which is where entrepreneurs fail. When people are trying to make everybody else happy, right, and pleased with them, that is when you aren't going to get noticed. But it's when you actually decide, actually, this is gonna be fuel to keep sharing my bold message, to keep making people feel uncomfortable. That's where the momentum is gonna come from, and that's where the results are going to come from. So you guys, this doesn't define you. Rejection doesn't define you. You just get to decide how you perceive it. And you can always choose if you are going to use it in a way that's going to make you hide, that's going to make you feel ashamed, that's going to make you feel insecure, or can you take that exact same situation and use it to fuel your growth, to fuel how many times you're going to put yourself out there without any of that fear. So I'm telling you guys, again, that secret sauce, the smartest entrepreneurs in the world see this rejection as their friend and they don't let it stop them. Love you guys a lot, and I'll see you in the next video.